Hey guys, tonight we're heading to the wind-blown roads of the Mongol Empire. Yes, the land of endless steppe, thunderous hooves, and surprisingly decent roadside food. You're not Genghis Khan, of course, but tonight you get to travel like one of his messengers, minus the political pressure and horse odor. Sort of. You've just crossed into the empire from the north. Your boots are caked in mud, your stomach's starting to protest, and let's be honest, you probably smell a bit authentic. But don't worry. Just up ahead, past a row of scraggly shrubs and two camels who don't seem impressed by your arrival, you see it. The first roadside inn. It's not fancy. In fact, it looks like someone's barn got ambitious. But inside, warmth. Possibly soup, definitely soup. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. But only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And hey, drop a comment with your city and what time it is where you are right now. I love imagining where you're listening from. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. When you wake up, the sky outside the inn is still draped in a chilly gray. Someone's tying up a horse, someone's sharpening a blade, and someone else is scooping out a huge pot of leftover lamb bones from last night. The air smells like grass, smoke, and something you can't quite place. But it definitely screams road trip. You rub your eyes and stretch. The journey's just beginning, and today you're back on the Mongol Empire's most important highway. It's called the Yam Route, a secret corridor that kept the empire running. The location wasn't a secret. The efficiency? That's the real mystery, because this route was absurdly fast. It wasn't a neatly paved stone road, but a full-blown relay station system. The general path spanned Eurasia, from the Kalka River all the way to the Black Sea. Every few dozen kilometers, you'd find a station. Some had just water and hay. Others looked like mini marketplaces. You mount your horse again, the wind slicing your cheeks like tiny blades. The sound of hooves beats a bumpy rhythm on the dirt road, and you start questioning all your life choices. Now you get why Mongol couriers could ride 200 kilometers a day. They probably didn't dare stop. These riders were called Urtu couriers, the high-speed train operators of the Mongol world. They carried a paisa, a shiny pass that granted them free meals, fresh horses, and comfy beds along the way. That little medallion? Basically a diplomatic passport, unlimited speed VIP badge, and lifetime free fries all rolled into one. You reach the next station and swap your horse, only to notice strange symbols etched into the wall. The old keeper tells you it's a no-touchy sign. Some horses are strictly for noble butts only. Turns out, even in the 13th century, VIP parking was a thing. By noon, the sun peeks out, and you feel that classic Central Asian calm. Desolate, but not lonely. In the distance, camel bells jingle as a caravan slowly trudges by. You approach a Persian trade group and realize they're carrying silk, spices, tools, and a few books. They laugh. Where we're going doesn't matter, as long as the stuff sells. That's the beauty of the Mongol postal route. It connected not just places, but entire cultures. Some historians even call it globalization, version 1.0. You hear Marco Polo took this road too, and now it feels like you're cosplaying him a few centuries late. But it wasn't all smooth riding. One time, a camel chewed up a road sign and sent an entire diplomatic party the wrong way. Sounds fake, but might be true, though historians are still arguing about that one. You ride on. Mountains and clouds blend in the distance, like a soft ink painting. You suddenly realize these stations aren't just pit stops. They're mental lifelines. No matter how far you go, you know there will be fire, water, and people waiting ahead. In that moment, you're no longer a bystander. You're part of the 13th century. You start to notice these inns, though part of the same system, each have their own personality. Some feel like military outposts, with stern-faced guards at the gate. Others, more like countryside B&Bs, complete with hanging lamb jerky and wind-dried cheese. You pull up to a station near the edge of the steppe. The walls are packed earth, the roof thatched with dry grass, and next to it, an adorably lumpy sheep pen. The innkeeper's an old man whose face basically says, "I've seen it all." He speaks so slowly you feel like you could nap between his sentences. You munch on the inn's signature snack, hot milk fritters, as he tells you who stayed here before. Merchants, poets, Mongol officers, and once a weird monk from Italy. You guess, probably Marco Polo. But the old man just says he ordered 3 bowls of fermented mare's milk and tried to teach my donkey Latin. You laugh out loud, almost snorting fritter crumbs through your nose. The innkeeper says this route carried more than goods. It carried gossip, songs, and jokes. One time he heard a Persian merchant sing a love ballad to his horse. And the next day, 3 stations down, everyone was humming it. You suddenly realize these stations were basically the social media of the 13th century. You had conversations, likes, hoof stomps, and even block lists keep out of the noble zone. At one station, you even spot a weird camel doodle with the note, "Do not feed chili peppers." You ask why. The keeper squints. "Last time someone tried, we all regretted it." Sounds like an urban legend. But yes, historians still haven't reached a consensus on the spicy camel incident. You ride on. Your horse is tired, and the station's groom softly hums a tune as he brushes its mane. You don't understand the words, but the melody feels like it's saying, "You're still on the road, but you're not alone." You doze off against the wall. When you open your eyes, another traveler's doing the same. He's from Khitan, speaks with a lilt, and his clothes sparkle with golden threads. You don't talk much, just nod, and silently watch the sun melt into the horizon. In that moment, language, status, destination, none of it matters. What matters is you're both riding this living artery, waiting for night to settle. Night finally falls. You continue your ride under a sky dusted with stars, like someone spilled sugar across the heavens. The wind sharpens, and the sounds of the steppe shift. By day, it was hoofbeats, shouting, and bleating sheep. Now, just the whisper of wind brushing tents, and somewhere a murmur carried across the plain. You arrive at a much larger station, this one lit with torches, featuring separate tents that scream reserved for VIPs. A woman in a robe, trimmed with royal purple, sites by the fire, surrounded by maps and account books. She notices you, nods, then returns to her calculations. You sneak a peek at her ledger. It's a grain inventory. Every location stock is detailed, including tragic notes like 20 sacks of oats lost to mice, again. She catches your curiosity. "I'm no official," she says. "I'm a recorder." She tells you the Mongol Empire took its road network seriously. So seriously, they created a dedicated class of recorders to track everything. Supplies, personnel, even donkey mood swings. She flips to a page. "Here, this was a shipment of books from Station 3, East Route, last month." You blink. "Books? They did book delivery back then?" She nods. "Ordered by the Khan, for a new school out west." She grins. "So don't think this road is just about lamb and fermented milk." You remember, Mongols were kind of administrative nerds. Spanning Eurasia isn't exactly a low-maintenance project without decent mail. You ask how fast the system actually is. She holds up 3 fingers. Urgent orders. 1,000 kilometers in 3 days. Your eyes widen. "That's faster than some 21st century couriers." She shrugs. "We had horses. We had grass. We had stations. We had a system." You chuckle. That line sounds more high-tech than AI-powered smart logistics. As you get ready to leave, she slips a folded piece of paper into your hand. "You'll need this at the next station." You unfold it, Turkic script and a string of numbers. You don't know what it means. But that's the charm of the journey, isn't it? There's always another mystery ahead. You tuck the paper deep into your sleeve and ride slowly beyond the campfire's glow. The stars are still there, silently watching, maybe keeping their own kind of records. Dawn is near. From the corner of your eye, you catch the faintest glimmer in the east, like someone gently brushed pink across the sky. You've been riding all night. Your butt is protesting enough to consider seceding from your body. But up ahead, finally, lights. This isn't an ordinary stop. It's a control checkpoint. You barely get close before a large hand appears out of the dark to halt your horse. Papers, the man grunts. Not chatty. You pause for a second, then hand over the cryptic paper from the woman back at the last station. He scans it, nods. Go ahead. You cautiously step through the flap. This place doesn't feel like a rest stop. It's more like a step customs office. There are forms, roped off lanes, and even a sign that says, no horse urination beyond this point. Not kidding. You queue behind a group of travelers. Up front, a merchant is desperately trying to explain why his camel is carrying 2 sacks of ginger instead of 1. You catch snippets. My wife loves ginger tea. I'm not smuggling, I swear. The official remains stone-faced, checks a couple boxes, and waves him through. Your turn. He asks where you're headed, what you're carrying, why you're on this route. You channel every word the recorder lady told you. He finally nods. You may proceed. One last station, southeast. Before you go, he points at a wooden slab on the table. Today's bulletin. Take a look. You lean in and raise an eyebrow. The slab is covered in carvings, military orders, wanted notices, lost and found items, even one that says, found earring, station 17, claim with description. That's when it hits you. This system wasn't just about empire and war. It quietly connected all the unnamed lives along the way. When you finally leave, daylight has spilled across the sky. Birds wheel overhead, riding invisible currents like they'll never get tired. You ride southeast along the last leg of the grassland. The flag of the final station flutters just barely in view. You feel a tiny thrill and a flutter of nerves. The rumored imperial secret menu. Could it really be true? You remember what the cook back at the first inn said. You want the Empire's secret menu. You have to finish the whole ride. Now, the finish line is finally within reach. The final stretch isn't long, but your heart pounds faster than it did on earlier rides. Not from the wind or the hooves, but from that creeping sense of, I'm about to uncover something. When you arrive at the final inn, the sun is high. The place looks underwhelming, kind of normal. No golden signs, no guards, no dramatic Imperial Secrets inside sign. Just some stable boys hanging laundry and a yawning dog. You walk into the kitchen. Couldn't resist. There you find an elderly cook, maybe 70, stirring porridge with the patience of a saint. Looking for food? She doesn't even look up. You nod, then add hesitantly, I heard there's a secret menu? She pauses. The wrinkles at the corners of her eyes soften, like a map unfolding. Sit down, she says. You obey. She reaches under the counter and retrieves a black clay pot, handling it like a treasure chest. Imperial special, for long-distance messengers only. Oxtail stew, simmered 3 days and nights. Your eyes widen. The aroma alone seems to reset your entire circulatory system. She ladles out a bowl and places it in front of you, whispering, drink slow. The slower, the better. The first sip silences the world, and you realize the secret was never about the ingredients. It's in the journey itself, in every seemingly ordinary inn with a thread of warmth, in every face you met, every dog, every carved lost and found notice. Why is this only for messengers, you ask? The cook smiles. Only those who finish the route can understand this soup. Suddenly, it feels like you're not just tasting stew, you're sipping time itself. It's salty, a little spicy, even slightly sweet. When you're done, she adds softly, you can stay here, or you can keep going. This isn't the end, just a bend in the road. You stand, step outside. Sunlight warms your face, like it's saying, you did good. You glance back. She's still in the kitchen, stirring that never-ending pot. And you, finally, understand the oldest secret of the steppe.